going anywhere from now.
Okay.
Stand back on my sound. Stand back. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hello, good evening and welcome. This is Ion Port. It is proudly brought to you by Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority, the Ghana Revenue Authority, GOIL Company Limited, Serene Insurance, GCNet, and West Blue. Media partner is the Business and Financial Times. And today we have another important assignment. We began this conversation last week when we had a directive coming from the presidency that beginning the month of July, all ministries, departments, and agencies, MDAs, also metropolitan, municipal, district assemblies should begin to, as well as state agencies, should begin to purchase or prioritize locally manufactured vehicles, vehicles that are locally manufactured in this country. So if you're a state agency and you are going to buy a car, that is what you should be looking at first, unless you can't get them here. And even that one, they are hoping that you still get them here. We're going to digest this matter. We'll also further delve into what we commenced last week, that the ban on salvaged as well as overaged vehicles. We want to hear from the practitioners, the industry players, those who are on the ground, those who are either going to benefit or are going to be affected by this. We're going to talk to the industry players and as well as those who deal in the sale as well as of this particular product that we're talking about. That's the cars. We'll talk about the parts as well and how this particular law will affect their work. So we are going to be joined virtually by some of them. We're also going to have some already in the studio. They're seated, and we should be commencing the discourse pretty shortly. We'll return pretty shortly after the break, and then we will let you know what is happening around the industry.
Every now and again, GOIL makes good things happen. This time, GOIL has introduced Super XP Ron 95, a higher grade fuel loaded with additives and yet sold at the same price as normal fuel. GOIL Super XP Ron 95 enhances engine performance like never before. It maintains the engine by keeping it clean from carbon deposits. GOIL Super XP Ron 95 is designed to burn slowly and thus improves fuel economy, making you save money after several kilometers. GOIL Super XP Ron 95 gives you a smooth driving experience, that is, less vibrations. Fill up with GOIL Super XP Ron 95. Now there's no need to pay more for any higher grade fuel. GOIL has that sorted. GOIL, good energy.
Electricity, then pay your taxes. Our taxes, our future.
Because you see, without our taxes, we wouldn't have good roads, good schools, better hospitals, street lights, and other very important social amenities. When we pay our taxes, we give our children free and quality education. Tell God, my money too small. Why should I pay my tax? Look, small. Salifo, it doesn't matter how small or big your business or income is. You still have to pay your taxes. The little taxes from each and every one of us, when put together, could give your community clean water or that deprived school with tables and chairs. Please pay your taxes. It is your responsibility. It is your civic duty. It is the law.
Oh, how are you?
Hi Yvonne, a few words please. Everyone is talking about the fire at your production house last week. How are you holding up? Has production stalled?
No, not at all. My crew and everyone on my set is perfectly fine because I insure with Serene Insurance. As a matter of fact, I've had all my equipment replaced, including the vehicles that were affected. My workers have been sorted out. Even my production downtime has been covered. So it's all good. I have a meeting to attend to, so I have to get going. Sorry about that.
Which insurance company did you mention?
Serene Insurance, the new face of insurance, a member of First Sky Group.
Sa coronavirus yare no yare a sign pa. So obinya bi na se opowa gu so ana se obinti gu so a utumenya yare ni bi.
Okadi ni bahani onaka oyehila ekoji. Ohe banye do. Oba wulo. Ogo bahunu. obachine e ojamba wo he obana sen kaka mekuma musunchon mekuma nuni anihi chiton boni nke je mo femo ba chon okadi na eko.
Coronavirus infection, the symptoms can range from mild, one of it being asymptomatic. Asymptomatic just means that you may not have any symptoms at all, and the disease process can gradually worsen to be a severe form, the severest being ultimately death.
We are expected to sanitize our hands when our hands are not visibly soiled or you can't really see dirt on your hands. If you can see dirt on your hands, the best thing to do is to wash your hands with soap and running water.
If you're using any of the cloth face masks, always make sure you have a rubber bag ready to receive it when you remove it. Or you have a bowl of warm soapy water in which you can place the mask and wash. Wash your mask, dry in the hot sun for at least 5 hours, and apply heat by way of ironing.
Utiliser les ports de Tema et de Takoradi, c'est avoir un traitement rapide et sécurisé de vos marchandises diverses en conteneurs, en sac ou en vrac, ainsi que tous vos véhicules en transit. Le Ghana a construit un parking bien pavé pour tous les véhicules en transit. Une nouvelle gare frigorifique pour le stockage de la marchandise congelée en transit. Avec un nouveau centre de traitement de données construit et la mise en œuvre efficace des guichets uniques nationaux qui permet aux données d'être accessibles par tous les intervenants, le traitement des dossiers dans les ports du Ghana est maintenant efficace et plus efficient. Utiliser les ports du Ghana, c'est profiter des systèmes de portes électroniques et d'exploitation des terminaux, ainsi que de la réservation des navires en ligne, entraînant ainsi un parc de camions fiable pour un acheminement de vos marchandises dans les brefs délais avec un suivi satellitaire jusqu'à nos frontières.
Les femmes, à vous les honneurs.
Les ports de Tema et de Takoradi célèbrent la femme. Que les bienfaits de cette célébration apportent plus de bénédictions.
Welcome back from the break. So this evening we're going to talk about or seek the perspective of industry players on the directive for state institutions to purchase Ghana assembled cars, as well as the law that is supposed to ban salvaged and overaged vehicles. We're going to hear from the industry players, those who are in the sale of cars, those who are in the sale of spare parts, those who are with the assemblies, the car assembly manufacturing companies and all of that, to get their perspective shortly. In the meantime, a number of things happening within the industry. GOIL Company Limited, our sponsor, and your proud indigenous oil marketing company, has done it again, taking the lead and a giant leap to introduce a digitized payment system for their fuels on the GH Link card. Listen.
GOIL, Ghana's foremost oil marketing company and the leader in the downstream petroleum industry in Ghana, has once again made another giant leap to be the only and first among over 80 oil marketing companies to commence a digitized payment system with GH Link to allow GOIL customers and anyone use the GH Link card to purchase GOIL fuel and other products at any fuel station across Ghana. GOIL said it began with the GOIL Advantage card, which metamorphosed into the Go card. However, unlike organizations who could make payment onto the Go card through checks and money transfers from their banks, individuals had to visit some selected stations, mainly in Accra, to load money onto their Go card before they could purchase fuel with their Go card. Hence, to attract private individuals both in the banking and non-banking sector, GOIL had to integrate their payment system with that of the national payment platform called GH Link, which is managed by the Ghana Interbank Payment and Settlement Systems, GIPS, a company mandated by Bank of Ghana to facilitate interbank transfers. Board Chairman of GOIL, Kwame Bartels, said the new payment system for GOIL fuel and other products will be convenient for clients and falls in line with the national digitization agenda.
This product is our equivalent of MasterCard or Visa card. We are therefore proud to be part of it. And most importantly, to be the first among over 80 oil marketing companies in Ghana to be connected to this Ghana link project.
Chief Operating Officer of GOIL, Alex Adziu, speaking on behalf of the Group CEO and Managing Director of GOIL, Kwame Osei-Prempeh, said GOIL is gradually moving towards a cashless system of purchasing its product and lauded the GH Link platform as a seamless and efficient platform for engaging in interbank transactions.
The need to eliminate the use of fiscal money at our service stations is of utmost importance now than ever. Digital payment for goods and services is convenient and must be encouraged. GOIL consequently intends to pursue vigorously the churning out of more fintech products, which we believe will help eliminate entirely the use of fiscal money at our stations.
Head of IT at GOIL, Anthony Chumesi, said the GH Link payment system is an additional efficient and convenient payment option for the GOIL customer, aside the GOIL Advantage or the GO card.
It is also safer than cash, simple and convenient to use at our service stations, as you will soon witness. There is also the opportunity for good record keeping, as each purchase or withdrawal is recorded automatically on customers' monthly bank statements.
The head of payment systems at Bank of Ghana, Dr. Kwabla Amediku Seto, who represented the governor of the Bank of Ghana, commended GOIL for demonstrating leadership in the bold step to digitize its payment system, which he believes is timely due to current COVID-19 pandemic.
With the adoption and acceptance of GH Link cards, GOIL has blazed the trail, and this move will increase the company's payment efficiency, improve productivity, reduce costs of transactions. Beyond this, the GH Link card will also speed up the digitization of the value chain for both users and merchants.
The CEO of Ghana Interbank Payment and Settlement Systems, GIPS, Achihese, said the GH Link card scheme was developed under the direction of the Central Bank of Ghana to provide Ghanaians with a secured homegrown card. Achihese praised GOIL's decision to upgrade its point-of-sale devices in all the over 400 service stations across the country to accept GH Link cards, and said the move is proof of GOIL's leadership in the industry, which other oil marketing companies must emulate.
We are grateful to GOIL for not limiting customers to only GOIL card holders, but to literally any GH Link card holder in the country. I therefore challenge all the other 80 market companies to do same, to follow suit the leadership that has been rightly shown by GOIL.
The Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority has assured Ghana's police service of the authority's full commitment in ensuring the security of the ports of Ghana to facilitate trade and secure revenues for the state. Welcoming a new Deputy Tema Regional Police Commander who paid a working visit to GPHA, the Director General of Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority, Michael Luguje, emphasized that the Port Authority will continue to collaborate with the security agencies in the port to safeguard the strength of Ghana's ports as the most secured in the sub-region.
Apart from safety of human life and property, we have international trade that passes through our ports, and we need maximum security to ensure that we serve our country and the international community. And I think over the years, the Port Authority has had the best of collaboration with the police service, the Tema Regional Police Command in particular, and of course the Harbour Police.
The DG, who was flanked by a team of management staff from GPHA, re-echoed the significant role of security for the sea trade and praised the already existing relationship between the Port Authority and the Tema Police Regional Command.
We've worked together closely. We've always been there to attend to whatever needs the Port Authority has as far as policing is concerned, collaborating with our security department and the Navy and everybody. So it's always a pleasure to welcome the police.
The new Deputy Tema Regional Police Commander, DCOP Anderson Fosuaka, promised to contribute to deepen the existing relations between the two institutions and assured of his outfit's commitment to provide adequate security in the port.
And we deem it necessary for us to know the people we are working with. Every day correspondence doesn't bring the collaboration that we may need in the future.
The new Deputy Tema Regional Police Commander DCOP Anderson Fosu was taken through an array of efforts and investments made by GPHA to improve services in the port by a Deputy Manager in charge of Marketing and Corporate Affairs at GPHA, Nana Esi Sudebek. Hapag-Lloyd, the world's 5th largest shipping line, is now utilizing the expanded connectivity, capacity and capabilities of the MPS Terminal 3 at the Tema port to transship the traffic between South Africa and Europe in Tema. This is in fulfillment of the decision announced by Hapag-Lloyd on 1st October 2019 in Cape Town, South Africa, and subsequent to the successful completion of the Tema port expansion project with its associated superior elements. The 40-footer refrigerated containers of fresh fruits were discharged from the Middle East, India, Africa Express service of the vessel Montpellier for transshipment onto the WAC service and loaded on the vessel Abidjan Express on 5th July 2020 for onward sail to its destination in Belgium, Europe. MPS Terminal 3 of Tema Port hereby provides the much-needed connectivity for the two liner services. The Chief Executive Officer of MPS, Mohamed Samara, said, quote, "The MPS Terminal 3 of Tema Port was created to facilitate trade by creating newer routes and establish West Africa's best-equipped transshipment hub. This monumental action is a step in the right direction to realizing the potential of this great infrastructure. With this, Africa is becoming more integrated into the global shipping network," unquote. Mohamed Samara also mentioned some of the key developments at the MPS Terminal 3 leading to the attainment of the status of a shipping hub. The MPS Terminal 3 has been developed with a sustainable infrastructure fitted with superstructure and the best of the world's technology to aid its operations.
So last week we began this discourse to take a look at the law that's supposed to ban salvage vehicles from entering into this country, as well as overage vehicles from entering into this country. Just that same period, we also got a directive coming from the presidency that state agencies should begin to purchase locally assembled vehicles, and that was a directive that was supposed to, its enforcement was supposed to commence in July. We spoke with the Parliamentary Select Committee on Trade and Industry as well as Tourism, the chair of that Select Committee. We also spoke with the Deputy Transport Minister, and we feel that this conversation is significant because we just have about 3 months where this law that's supposed to ban salvage vehicles is supposed to take effect, and it is important that importers who will be importing some of these cars are aware ahead of time, because people have already started planning, importing 1 or 2 cars. What if by the next 3 months those cars arrive in this country and they are only told that, look, the law is against this, the importation of this particular car? And if that is going to be the case, then we need to start sensitizing people. Somebody needs to be telling people what to do and what not to do, and that this is the law that is in force. So we have begun this conversation. Last week, we spoke with these members of parliament. Let's listen to what they had to say real quick, and then we'll come to the studio.
On Tuesday, March 3, 2020, Parliament adopted and approved the Joint Committees on Finance, Trade, Industry and Tourism report for amendments to be made in the Customs Act 2015. The new Customs Amendment Bill 2020 sought to amend the Customs Act 2015, Act 891, to provide incentives for automotive manufacturers and assemblers registered under the Ghana Automotive Manufacturing Development Program, GAMDP. The bill is also to prohibit the importation of salvaged motor vehicles comprising wrecked, destroyed, or physically damaged by collision, fire, water, or other occurrences, as well as specified motor vehicles over 10 years of age into the country. The Customs Amendment Bill 2020 will also increase the import duty on specific motor vehicles and provide import duty exemptions for the security agencies and officers of the security agencies, especially those who go on various assignments and peacekeeping in the security interest of Ghana. The bill was subsequently referred to the Joint Committees on Finance, Trade, Industry and Tourism for consideration and report in accordance with Article 174 of the Constitution and Orders 159 and 169 of the Standing Orders of Parliament. Speaking on Iron Ports Live interactive program, the chairman of the Parliamentary Select Committee on Trade, Industry and Tourism, Nana Mafuameniampong, confirmed that the President of the Republic has assented to the bill and thus become law from 30th of April 2019.
And under the name, that is Customs Amendment Bill 2020. It's been assented, but we need to wait for 6 months before it becomes operational. So effective probably 1st October 2020. If nothing untoward happens, it may come into force.
He said it is instructive that 6 months after the bill became law, which in this case is 30th of October 2020, its enforcement will commence.
Left to me, I would have loved maybe total ban so that at least there will be a pressure on us to actually bring our arsenals into force so that production may be triple and everybody in Ghana may begin driving brand new cars. But given where we are coming from, I know it's going to be difficult, but that should be the direction.
Nana Mafuameniampong, who is also the Member of Parliament for Afija Kwabre North constituency, explained that the time has come for the nation to move away from relying on such salvage, rickety and old vehicles to protect and improve the lives of its citizens.
We cannot continue to depend on these salvage cars. And this high rate of accidents in Ghana, a lot of them, some of them, not all, but some come from that angle.
A Deputy Minister of Transport and Member of Parliament for Tema East, Daniel Nikwate Titus Glover, also a former chairman of the Parliamentary Select Committee on Trade, Industry and Tourism, contributing on the subject of banning salvaged and overage vehicles, said the law is in line with the overall agenda of government towards transforming the transportation sector of the nation's economy.
Major essence of the ministry, and for that matter, the vision of His Excellency the President, as to how we can promote effective public transport system. We have too much congestion in our major cities.
He said when the enforcement of the law commences, it will improve the transport sector through modernized standards.
So I believe sincerely that we could cure this problem in terms of the congestion, where we have all kinds of vehicles that are overage that are imported into the country. And another way that we need to avoid dumping of some of these vehicles into the country. So there are times where in the past you need to fix some of these vehicles are not even there. They are not even there. And sometimes they have to improvise some parts and fix them. And this is contributing to some of the accidents we have on our road. So I think that there's a way that this law will try to cure some of these challenges we have on our roads.
He said the law will ensure safety of cars, drivers and passengers and reduce records of accidents and traffic congestion in Ghana.
Because of the commercial vehicle, it does not mean that we should allow all kinds of vehicles into our country. There should be a stop somewhere. So they'll be able to control the congestion that we have on our roads. And some of these vehicles that they come, you know that they come in a van form. And when they come, they just send it to the garage. And they do all kinds of seats. The welders do some improvised seats into it, put some metals to make sure they have seat arrangements in these wagons and all that. Originally, that is not the design.
The Deputy Minister urged Ghanaians to reorient themselves to embrace the new law that will ban the importation of such salvaged and overage vehicles as the Ministry of Finance lead the way to commence public sensitization.
Importers need to conform with the law. And how do they conform? It is a matter of education, a matter of advocacy to let the public know. Because somebody would say that even the law has been passed, we are not aware of it. Yes, we are not aware. But ignorance of the law, it is not an excuse. So the Ministry of Finance and the Customs Division of GRA need to place intensive advocacy for the general public to be aware of that the law has been passed. 6 months after the assenting of the law by His Excellency the President, on the 1st of October, it becomes operational.
Okay, so the parliamentarians also spoke about the President's directive on having all state agencies patronizing locally manufactured cars.
Meanwhile, the two members of parliament who spoke on the law banning the salvaged and overaged vehicles. Nana Mafuameniampong, the chairman of the Parliamentary Select Committee on Trade, Industry and Tourism, and member of Parliament for Efija Kwabre North Constituency, and Deputy Minister of Transport and Member of Parliament for Tema East, Daniel Nikwate Titus Glover, applauded the presidency for what they described as a bold initiative to direct all ministries, departments and agencies, as well as metropolitan, municipal and district assemblies and all state-owned agencies to prioritize their first option, the purchase of locally assembled vehicles they intend to procure.
The president, by this document, is giving a lot of support to this initiative, which is his own baby, because my outfit is a very bad example. We go out there to pitch. I mean Parliament. We want chairs and then we go to China to import. We want to curtail all those bad practices.
According to Nana Mafuameniampong, Ghana has gotten to the point where it needs to create permanent jobs by implementing such efficient policies.
Going forward, the president is saying that most of the MDAs, Ministry Department Agents, and then the MMDCs, and even the secondary schools, I know the next batch of cars that will give to the secondary schools or the tertiary institutions will be cars which have been assembled in Ghana here.
Okay.
That way, that will give, people how serious the government is as far as his policies are concerned.
The Deputy Minister of Transport, though, admitted that demand may outdo the capacity of local manufacturers from the early stages. Eventually, the benefit will far compensate for the initial inconveniences.
Imagine all these MMDAs. How many of these manufacturing companies do you have? I'm sure Nissan and one or two. But every institution and the kind of vehicle that they want. Whether they want a saloon car, they want a pickup, they want a Land Cruiser. So it's going to take quite a little time, but we need to encourage ourselves.
Okay.
You need to encourage ourselves because the vision that the president has brought is a very laudable one.
So back here in the studio, my guest, Mr. Clement Boateng, is the co-chairman, Abosi Okain Spare Parts Dealers Association, and the acting vice president of Ghana Union of Traders Association. Clement, good to see you.
Thank you for having me, Samuel.
Also in the studio is Nana Edujemfi, is the CEO, Najaf Autos, Apenkwa, Accra. Nana, pleasure to have you in the studio. Joining us virtually, and we should be introducing Madam shortly, is Madam Adobia, Mrs. Adobia Esiama Boaje. She's the General Manager, Japan Motors Tema Branch. Good evening, Madam, and if you can see us, hello.
Hello, Samuel. How are you?
I'm good, thank you, and pleasure to have you on the line. So I may have to start quickly with you and find out if you have a knowledge of the directive that's been given by His Excellency, the President of the President of the Republic, that all state agencies should begin to patronize or prioritize the purchase of locally manufactured cars.
Yes, thank you very much, Samuel, for the opportunity. I have a fair knowledge of that directive. I have seen the communication, and I must say that I was happy when I saw it, the extent to which the President and by extension the government is indicating commitment to get this auto assembly program rolled out and see it grow.
Okay, that means that your outfit, and just beyond your personal sentiments, your outfit, I would assume that also are excited about this news.
Precisely. I would say, and when I say my outfit, of course, my company would come in first.
Yeah.
Japan Motors, dealers of Nissan vehicles and representatives of Nissan, Futon, and Yamaha. We are very much happy about this directive, knowing very well that when we invest into this auto assembly, quite a number of us know, it's an obvious fact that it's a capital-intensive project, and this runs into millions of Ghana cedis. And so all that the investors wanted was assurance from government that if they invest, they would have the opportunity to do business and have returns on investment. And so for us, and by extension, the Ghana Automobile Dealers Association, because there are other members within who have also signed up to the Auto Assembly, it is a relief to us, and we are excited about the whole thing, that government is poised to give us the support to get into it. So I think it's a good thing, not just for me as a person, but for the industry.
Okay, so are you confirming that Japan Motors is one of those that's involved in the assembling?
Definitely.
I see. And to what extent have you gone with that?
Well, we are still in the process. It's work in progress. We haven't started assembling anything yet, but we are in the process and far advanced with the manufacturer to set up and start something.
Okay, and with this directive, that would mean that, you know, almost
Oh, yes, I strongly believe so. I would say that if you look at the statistics of brand new vehicle imports into Ghana, we do around between 13,000 and 14,000 units per year. Per the vehicle assembling program, the auto assembly is required to do a minimum of 5,000 units per year. And I could just say that I know Japan Motors is one of them, VW, Toyota, and a few others expressing interest. And so if each of them is doing 5,000 units, then of course, obviously it exceeds the industry average or industry total of the 13,000 or 14,000 I'm saying. That goes straight to 15,000 for the three companies that will be going into it. So I don't think that there's going to be any shortfall.
Okay.
But I must also admit that it's a new thing, and we are not starting. Definitely, there will be some teething problems along the line. And as time goes on, we believe that they'll be fine-tuned and production will be increased, and we can then meet the demand.
Okay. When do you think that your company, for instance, would start?
I can't give the exact dates now.
Okay.
But like I said, I know Nissan had come down earlier to inspect our facility, do a feasibility study. They have approved, and we are in the process of also doing the registration with the Ministry of Trade. There's a criteria you have to follow, and we are far advanced with that. And so setting up and starting is not going to be a problem. And once all is said and done, I can say that we will be able to churn out the units.
Okay. Beyond your position with the Japan Motors, I know you that you used to head the Greater Accra Regional Shippers Committee, for instance. I know that you have a vast knowledge within the industry.
Can you speak out loudly, please?
Okay. Now, I want to say that if you can share with us, because of the enormous experience that you have within this industry, if you can share with us some of the possible economic benefits that we are likely to see with this. Because we have also heard some people raise some of the effects negatively as well. So if you can share with us the economic benefits of us as a country embracing this particular directive, embracing this kind of policy.
Well, I think basically the obvious one is employment. You know, setting up an assembly plant definitely requires human resource. And to start with, there will be experts from the manufacturer coming down to train our people. And so we are going to employ all over. We have qualified engineers, mechanical engineers around auto, who need jobs. And so these people are going to have an opportunity to be employed. And so employment is one of the first things. And when I say employment, it's not restricted to just the assembler, as in the auto industry, but it's going to cut across. I also know that once this thing starts, there are other components of the vehicles, parts that will be imported, but then there's also an opportunity to provide them here locally. Years ago, we had Bonsa ties. Today, where is Bonsa ties? The rubber plants are harvested and the raw product is sent out there. The ties are made, imported back into Ghana at a cost. And so if we are going to do the auto assembly, then this is also an opportunity where our raw materials can be put to use. And some of these companies that have gone, I don't want to use the word extinct, but then they would have an opportunity to be revamped and get back into production for their auto assemblies. Then again, the glass industry, even if we don't have, it can easily be done because we will need windshields and the windows, and these glass industries can get them done. And so it also creates an employment for people. When it comes to the vehicle financing scheme, the banks, the financial institution would also have an opportunity there because assembling new vehicles would mean that consumers would now be more skewed to opting for new vehicles, which will definitely be at a lower cost. And so then financing would be needed. We believe that very soon we will see it being a bit more vibrant than it is now with the banking sector or the financial sector. I must also indicate that there's going to be an opportunity for trade-ins. Most of the dealerships used to do the trade-in, but with time, it went a bit low. Currently, it has started picking up again. And so there's an opportunity for these vehicles, the used vehicles that are already in the system that have been depreciated over a period in corporate settings can now be traded in for newer models. And these vehicles would be a pool that can be handed over to used vehicle dealers. And so it becomes also an avenue for a whole new set of business. And then when it comes to the paints, for example, if you are bringing in vehicle kits to assemble, they would usually be vehicles, complete vehicles that have been disassembled. And so you have them coming in as semi-knocked down, enhanced semi-knocked down, and then completely knocked down. So definitely with time, we will need paint. We know that there are some paint manufacturers already here, on our market. And if there's an opportunity to go into car paints, manufacturing them here locally, why not? And so you realize that beyond the vehicle manufacturer or assembler getting the benefits of churning out more units, creating employment, definitely it spans across and other sectors will also get an opportunity.
Let me ask you about importation, for instance, and from the port side. How much of imports are we likely to see happen around this particular business? I'm sure that, beyond the, I don't know how much of local materials you're going to use. I'm assuming that with cars, you would need a lot of materials being brought in. So if you can share with us the picture of how importation would also look like. Importation of the materials that will be used.
The importation, like I had indicated earlier, the assembling come in three folds. You have the semi-knockdown. That would come complete, just that it comes in the knockdown forms in containers and not in an assembled form, as in a fully built unit. So it comes in the containers and everything related to the vehicle being fitted is within that container. So that is a unit on its own. And then you have the enhanced semi-knockdown that has the local components in it. So maybe, for example, like I mentioned, the tires. If you want to procure your tires locally, then of course you get that done. If you want to procure your windshield locally because you can find a glass factory here, you get that done. If it's about paint, you get it done locally, and then that's it. Then you have the completely knocked down. That means that the components are broken down further into smaller units. And so that is labor intensive.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the objective is that most of the vehicle assemblers would be starting from the semi-knockdown point of view, but they are all being encouraged to gradually move to the completely knocked down, because we are also anticipating that we should be able to take advantage of the African Continental Free Trade Agreement so that we can export to the neighboring countries.
Yeah.
But we can only do that when we have gotten to the completely knocked down stage, and we are bringing in the vehicles at the, should I say, barest minimum of assembling, that everything is going to be done here from scratch.
Okay.
So basically, that is it.
Okay. I would want to know some of the expectations you have of, first of all, government. I know that there are a few supports. I see that the Customs Act, for instance, has been amended. I can see Section 55 of Act 891 amended, and there are quite a number of incentives that are being put in place to ensure that, you know, some of these products that you intend to import, you talked about the knockdown, the semi-knockdown, there are some rebates to them. But beyond that, what are some of your expectations, first from government, aside this directive that has come out?
Well, this is mainly what we were looking out for.
Okay.
The commitment from government, because government is the largest buyer.
Okay.
So if government says all MDAs, MMDAs, SOAs should consider the assemblers as their first option in procuring vehicles, then we are assured that, yes, we have the backing and support of government to move through this phase. What we will be looking out for in the near future, we believe that it's a startup thing, and so we wouldn't want to crumble for everything.
Yeah.
So in the near future, what we'll be looking out for is with the commercial sector. Okay. Currently, the amendment of the Customs Act is more geared towards the passenger end, where you have the sedans, SUVs, station wagons, mini trucks, and cargo vans being covered. But when you look at the commercial vehicles, I'm talking of our trotros, vehicles above the 10-seaters, 15-seaters, 23, and even the huge buses, those ones aren't covered yet. And so then it means that those vehicles can still come in as used vehicles and still be accepted without any problem. But we are also hoping that if you look at, I don't have the statistics though, but if you look at our road accidents and what happens with some of these commercial vehicles, you would agree with me that if we are assembling vehicles, then one of the areas we should actually be looking at is the commercial vehicles, especially the smaller units, up to about 18-seater buses. Those are the areas we should be looking at, because sometimes vans are brought in. They are brought in as vans, and then they go cut them, modify them, and make them into nice passenger vehicles. Yeah. But if you sit in these vehicles, even sometimes running your fingers along the windows, you get to know that it has very sharp edges. The seats are not comfortable. You don't have leg room and all that. And when there is a collision, the effect on those seats that have been locally fabricated and all that is terrible on the passengers. So we are hoping that with time, the commercial vehicles can also be looked at, and then it can be part of the pool.
Okay, we'll come back to talk about that aspect in detail when we're talking about the ban also on the salvage vehicles. But I will have the gentleman in the studio also bite on this particular directive. Mazabut, let me start with you. About so kind spare parts dealers and all of that. This directive, do you see any opportunities around it?
You mean the
GUTA as well, you're trading public?
Yeah, I'm talking about, you mean government directives for MDDS to buy from the assemblies locally. Yeah, I think it's a step in the right direction.
Okay.
Because once vehicles are going to be assembled here, I don't see the reason why, with our scarce foreign exchange, we should still be buying from outside. And I think if government does its purchases here, it is going to, have an improvement on the economy. Employment is going to be, widened, and then I think it will go a long way, to help the local assemblies. I think even some of the agencies have even started patronizing the locally manufactured cars. Presently, we have only Kantanka, who is manufacturing vehicles locally. And some of the ministry, I've seen a couple of Kantanka cars at the ministry, especially Minister of Finance. Even the minister himself drives a Kantanka vehicle. Yes, so I think it's a step in the right direction, and we must, applaud the government for that.
Okay, and members of the traders union also looking at some opportunities around it. Have you been engaged to look at some opportunities around this this policy direction that the government is taking all of us?
Well, regarding the patronizing of the locally assembled vehicles, as far as that one is concerned, we don't have a direct, benefit from it.
But about spare parts, and the parts of these cars and all of that.
Yes. That is why I said, with the vehicles, we don't have a direct listing on it. But when it comes to, spare parts, when this policy was being developed, there was a technical committee under the auspices of Ghana Standard Authority.
Okay.
Yes, they formed a technical committee, and I was a member of that technical committee.
Okay.
Yes, they engaged, various stakeholders. Customs had a representation. The MTTU Department of Ghana Police Service had a representation. Ministry of Transport had a representation. DVLA had a representation. I mean, the academia had a representation. The committee was chaired by one lecturer from Tech.
Okay.
Yes, and he is a PhD holder. And we had a lot of, discussions. We sat. The first sitting was, I think we sat for about 2 weeks. Then we adjourned, and then I think after 3-4 months we reconvened again. So we did the framework upon which this government policy.
You were fully involved?
Yes, I was fully involved. Yes.
Okay, that's good.
Yes, we did the framework upon which government developed this policy. Yes, so in our deliberations, there was the need, to ask the minister about our benefit from this policy regarding the spare parts industry.
Yeah.
And that's Madam Adubia rightly said. There are, small parts that we could manufacture them here, because if you want to talk about the major parts, major aspect of some of the spare parts, that one, it will have to take a couple of years.
The capacity is not there yet.
The capacity is not there. But at least with small items like the tire, as she said, like filters, windscreen, the rubbers, wipers, all those things, we can start the manufacturing here with assistance from the Ministry of Trade. And we were assured, because we don't have the finances, to procure those, machines to go into that production. But they assured us that the government can, support us to be able to purchase those machines, so that we can also take advantage of the situation, produce something, and then we all benefit from it.
So now government has ruled that it has demonstrated the commitment Madam Adubia rightly said that one. And you have seen that this move is out there. Now, from July, which we are already in July, all agencies, state institutions are supposed to be purchasing some of these vehicles. Now, is it about time for you to also move quickly into seeing some of the opportunities that already you said had come up for your guys to start taking advantage of?
Yes, I think the time is ripe for us, because we have seen the first assembler, that is the vendor brew. We've learned that they have started production, and I think maybe in no less than a time they'll come out with maybe the first car that they have manufactured. So I think the time is ripe for us to have some sort of engagement with the government, you know, as far as the production of these small spare parts is concerned, so that they could help us in acquisition of some of these machines, so that we can go into, you know, production to support these local assemblies. So the time is ripe for us, and I think within a matter of time, I think it is this, you know, COVID that has slowed every process.
Hey, but within the same COVID, government says they should buy. So life is moving on.
Yes, life is moving on. Life is moving on. But
life is moving
yes,
on.
But currently the production is not all that at its you know maximum. Yes, maximum. It's not that they are starting. And if we heard what Madam Adubia said, that each and every assembler is at least supposed to produce 5,000, you know, cars within a year. If we go into that direction, then it is going to help us. So it's about time that we start engagement with government, and then see how best, you know, government can help us in those acquisitions, so that we can also, you know, lend our support to this whole entire process.
Yeah. Now, for you, we'll be coming a lot more with the ban on the spare parts, but I know that you have also dealt in cars for a long time. You started selling cars not now. So is it when?
1988.
I see. Is there opportunity in this area for somebody like you who's been dealing in cars for a long time and all of that? Today, government says they should begin to look at purchasing from local manufacturers. And today, we are seeing locally manufactured cars coming around. To what extent will that also help your job?
Oh, we can still do our job. But what the government is doing is right.
Yeah.
It's going to industrialize the economy and boost employment.
Yeah.
And, you know, save foreign money or foreign exchange, which could have been used to import these cars into the country.
Yeah.
So I think what the government is doing is in the right direction.
Yeah.
We don't have any qualms about that.
Okay, that's good to hear. But are you also looking to begin to start patronizing and buying some of these cars, so that it's not just the state agencies that will be patronizing from the locally manufactured, but some of the garages like yours would also be buying from them?
Yeah, we can be, you know, selling for them.
For now, it's too expensive for you.
We can be selling for them if they like.
Okay.
Yeah, because not all Ghanaians can afford to buy those cars.
Yeah.
They will tell them as very expensive.
Yeah.
But if those companies can bring us some of the cars in our garages to sell for them, we have nothing to say. We can do business with them.
Madam Adubia mentioned that they are looking to see the commercial side, so that you have some of these buses and all of that. You think that your people are ready to begin to sell some of these buses, a very decent one, new ones, produced here in this country, and for the people to use here, instead of relying on some of them that, as she mentioned, they come in different form and people will transform them into something else?
Yeah, I would like that. If we are able to do business with the companies selling those new buses, because those old buses we import from abroad are the causes of the major accidents on the roads.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah, some of them, because some of them are not in good condition.
I see.
They come in the form of vans.
Yeah.
And then we transform them into buses, putting seats in them, the iron rods, hurting some of them in cases of accidents.
Yeah.
So if new ones can be produced here with seats and belts, we will patronize that. Yeah, we will sell those ones and stop importing those obsolete ones from abroad.
And you think the market is ready to accept some of these new cars that we hope,
Yeah, if there will be terms of payment.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
so that's another area to look at.
Yeah.
Terms of payment.
Yeah, by the manufacturers.
Okay. Okay. Let me go to Madam Adobia.
Let me, I think Madam Adobia talked about our trading of vehicles.
The trading.
Yes.
So you have an old one, you bring it.
You bring it. Yes. You bring it. You take new ones so that they can give those used ones to the car dealers to also sell. Yes. To also sell. So they will still be in
good business.
Yes, they will still be in business.
Okay.
Yes.
Madam Adobia, if you can hear us, let me find out from you some of the criticisms that I've heard are that often when you have some of these manufacturers come into the tropics or this part of our world, the sort of product that are given to or manufactured here are entirely different from what is manufactured out there. Is it true? And can we be assured of quality?
Okay, so I would say, yes, we can be assured of quality. Let's bear in mind that the representatives of the vehicle manufacturers here, being the national sales companies, are themselves users of the vehicles here.
Yeah.
The staff, including us, are all users of the vehicle. So we want to make sure that what we bring is safe for our market. We should also know that various countries have their own standards that vehicles are manufactured to meet. As we speak, I know Ghana Standards Authority has started working on our standards. One thing I have seen is the homologation.
Yes.
That's would be done for the assemblers. And it also brings to bear that currently our standard is that all the vehicles in Ghana should be Euro 2 for their emission. But we know that there are vehicles in the system that do not meet the standard. And this is an opportunity for us to meet the standard. So we can be assured that the vehicles we are going to produce are safe for us and they are not substandard in any way. I'm sure maybe you are saying this based on, like you said, the criticisms and maybe something you have seen somewhere. But we can assure you that from where I sit, Nissan is committed to bring onto the market the very best of what would serve the Ghanaian populace.
Okay.
Consumers.
Okay. So now let me come to the ban or the law that's supposed to ban importation of salvaged vehicles as well as the overage vehicles. Clement, have you been engaged on this law?
Yeah, I think in my preamble, I told you that I was a member of the technical committee.
I thought that was for the
no, it was
all together.
Yes, it was
okay.
It was
okay.
It was
then
all together.
Then that's sorted.
Yes. So we developed the framework upon which this policy was developed by government.
Okay.
And when we reached that aspect of the year at which vehicles are supposed to be, cut off and brought to Ghana here, there were a lot of suggestions from all stakeholders. Some were saying we should make it 6 years. Some were saying 7 years, because we were looking at, best world practices. And what we saw was that in our own backyard here, Côte d'Ivoire is currently doing 5 years for vehicles that are used for taxis.
I see.
Yes, they are doing 5 years.
5 years?
5 years.
Cote d'Ivoire?
Cote d'Ivoire.
Okay.
For vehicles that are being used for taxis.
So if a vehicle is more than 5 years, they won't accept it in Cote d'Ivoire?
They won't accept it.
I see.
For you to use it as
taxi?
As a taxi, yes.
Okay.
As a taxi.
For the safety of the people.
Then, if we go to buses, buses, they are doing 7 years.
Okay.
They are doing 7 years. Then if you go to trucks between 5 tons and 10 tons, they are doing 10 years.
Okay.
If you go to Kenya, currently, Kenya is doing 8 years.
For taxis?
No, for all vehicles.
Okay.
And by 2021, it's going to do it at 3 years.
I see.
That is next year. Kenya is going to do it at 3 years. Currently, they are doing it at 8 years. A vehicle which is more than 8 years cannot be brought into Kenya. If you go to Morocco, Morocco is doing 5 years.
For all vehicles?
For all vehicles. So, when we pegged our year after a lot of deliberations, we decided that at least we should start somewhere. But we shouldn't forget that the 10-year ban is already in place. Only that
there's a penalty.
There's a penalty.
Yeah. But you can bring it.
But you can bring it. You see? So that has been in existence. But now that we want to...
That didn't limit people from bringing it,
bringing
because
it,
a lot of people were willing to pay the 10%
the
penalty,
yes.
and still bring it.
And still bring it.
So we still have a lot of those overage
vehicles in the system. Yes. So after back and forth, then we arrived at 10 years.
Okay.
We arrived at 10 years. Because we were saying once they are going to produce vehicles here, at least from saloon car to SUVs. Yes, we should allow it to remain at 10 years, because the ban does not affect commercial vehicles yet. It's only limited to saloon cars and then the SUVs.
Yeah.
Yes. So I think the 10-year is okay, because like I told you, as a country, we need to start from somewhere. People are saying it is going to put a lot of people out of business, but I don't share that idea. And Nana has also
why don't you share that idea? Your people are
yes,
listening.
I don't share that idea, because still you have opportunity to bring car from 1 to 10, and it doesn't throw you out of business. Assuming maybe they said they've banned second-hand cars, then you can say it is going to put a lot of people out of business. But 1 to 10, you can still bring it. And regarding spare parts, you can still bring spare parts, because even from if they bring 1 to 10 year car here, you still have the opportunity of bringing spare parts, because they have not banned used spare parts. You can still bring used spare parts of any
age.
Okay. Bring spare parts of second-hand spare parts of any age. So you can still be in business. It does not affect spare parts. And also...
No, but if I have a car that is less than 5 years and you are selling a part that is 15, 20 years old, why would I come and buy that?
Let me tell you, the automobile companies that are here, that Madam Adubia, represent. If Madam Adubia can attest to that, it is not all spare parts that they bring. And even if they bring all spare parts, they don't bring it in quantity. So maybe within a possible
period, it gets finished, and then people have to come to Abosokai and come and get it.
Yes, they have to come to Abosokai to come and buy.
But they hope to come and get something that is relatively newer, not something that is 20 years old.
No, but you see,
when I'm using it for a car
no,
that is 5 years.
When we say used spare parts, it doesn't mean that the parts that we are selling is so bad that it cannot be used. Even if you go to the developed countries, the US, Germany, France, everywhere, they used second-hand parts. They go to scrap yards and buy from there. There was a company that I was buying from when I was bringing second-hand spare parts. If I go there to load my container and I see people trooping in to come and buy second-hand parts, it made me amazed that, hey, these people, you all purchase used parts for your vehicles. Why don't, because the parts are being manufactured there, why don't you go to the shops and then buy them? Yes, and buy new ones. But they come to the scrap yards and then they all buy from there. Okay. You see, some of the vehicles that are even here, when some of their parts spoil, sometimes it's even difficult to get a new one, and you have to fall on the used one. So if you say used one, it does not mean the part is so bad that it cannot be used.
Okay, but will this also help to streamline the quality of spare parts that you have around or you deal in? Because people have also criticized your outfit. That sometimes people want to you pick up some part and your guys have recycled that part over and over. One particular part that the person has brought and says, this one, it got spoiled. So, for mommy, then they put it somewhere. By the time you turn, they work on it, and then they will keep it and sell again. Now that we're all trying to make our cars better, have the best of parts for our cars, with all these policies coming, do you think that the spare parts industry would also sort of reform itself and begin to put out some of these best materials out there for people to purchase?
Yeah, Sammy, I will not rule what you have said out, because there's a proverb which says, in every house there is a Mensa in that house. In fact, we are aware that some of our boys, have been doing what you just said. Some of them even, go to the extent of visiting workshops, pick those items which has been used, bring it to Abosokan, polish them, and then resell it to people. And we have complained a number of times to try as much as possible and let those boys stop what they are doing. So it used to be, more some time past, but for now, because of the engagement that we have had with them, it has, gone down. It is not out completely, but at least those, things has been reduced. And I think with the collaboration of the police, because just last week we had a meeting with the new commander at Kaneshi, and these are some of the areas that we are going to, collaborate with the police, to see that those things are brought to, end.
Okay.
Yes.
I will ask you about the age, the category of cars that they age, because I heard you say that commercial is not part, but I'm reading something different, so I'll read it again. But let me just announce that the numbers that you can WhatsApp us on and share your thoughts with us. For the WhatsApp line is 055-901-9177, 055-901-9177. You can share your thoughts with us on this subject, and we will definitely share them with the rest of the world. At the appropriate time, I will announce the phone lines that you can also call to contribute. So there's Section 58 of Act 891 that was amended. If you come to the 2C, it says that the following motor vehicles over 10 years of age, subject to subsections 3 and 4 of Section 154. And the first one is motor cars and other motor vehicles principally designed for the transport of persons, other than those under HS code, that is heading 87.02, including station wagons and racing cars with HS heading 87.03, and motor vehicles not exceeding 5 tons for the transport of goods with HS heading 87.04. What are these categories of cars?
To be frank, regarding the HS HS code.
No, but the description, even without referring to the HS code, it says motor cars and other motor vehicles principally designed for the transport of persons.
Yeah, transport of persons.
Yes, other than those and that. So we have a rough idea the cars that are used to transport persons.
Transport, yes. I think which means maybe buses.
Yes.
Buses may be included.
The wagons,
yes.
the buses. I think even Madam Adubia mentioned the fuel.
Yes. Buses may be included, but maybe regarding trucks, I think trucks are not. Trucks are not included.
I think that was said somewhere.
Trucks are not included.
And then, since you were part of the group from the beginning, here it talks about salvage. There's a part that talks about salvage.
Yes.
Did you get the definition clearly? Because we've been battling with.
Yes, that is where the problem the problem is.
But here it says, so if you take the section 151891 amended 4C, the imported vehicle, cabin or vehicle. Okay, so 4C. By the insertion after the definition for restricted goods, salvage motor vehicle means, here's the definition, means a motor vehicle which A, has been wrecked, destroyed, or physically damaged by collision, fire, water, or any other occurrence, and B, does not have a clean title.
Yes.
Sorry, let me just add a D. And D, by the insertion after the definition for selling commission. Okay, so that can just go. Let's just end it. It doesn't have a clean title.
Yes.
It doesn't have a clean title means that to secure a clean title, the vehicle doesn't have to have any dent on it.
Yeah.
And that is banned?
Yes. That is where the problem is. Because in our deliberations, this issue of salvage vehicle, came, and we are all aware that if we see some of the vehicles that are brought into the country, it's something that we all have to.
Yeah, most of them are not in good taste.
Yes, we all have to talk about. And then when we talk of flooded vehicles, if water goes into a vehicle, we are all aware that it destroys all the electrical system. And when you bring such vehicle into the country, you all can see the sort of effect that it will have on the electrical system.
Yeah.
And then salvage vehicle also, we talk about vehicles that
has collision,
has
fire,
and the accident is so severe that it affects the chassis of the vehicle. When they bring those vehicles here, they go and cut, the chassis, and then they weld them. And when those vehicles are on the road, they are prone to accidents. So these are the definition of salvage vehicles, and those vehicles are not allowed to be brought in.
But Clay, is it clear to you if you say physically damaged by collision?
Yes.
We see a lot of these cars. They have a physical damage that you can clearly see because there's a collision.
Yes.
Or maybe the door side or the back or the fender and all of that.
Yes.
Doesn't it depend on the magnitude of damage?
Yes.
Or is this open? Any damage at all? How do you define that?
Yes, so that is where the bone of contention is. Once that definition of physically damaged is there, then it means when the accident is small and even a bumper is damaged,
still physically damaged.
It's still physically damaged.
Yes.
And which means you cannot bring those vehicles in. And the stakeholders think that part of the law is not fair, because the fact that a car is involved in an accident and is physically damaged, and the impact is so small. The impact is so small that it does not affect the chassis. It does not. The vehicle is not flooded or something. Those vehicles must come in. And over there, once a vehicle is involved in an accident, and whether it's severe or it's just a small accident, the clean title will not be issued.
Yeah.
It will not be issued to you.
Yeah.
And once the clean title is not issued to you, if you bring those vehicles,
it will be confiscated.
It will be confiscated. So those are the areas that the stakeholders, want the government to do something about it.
And so far, what are you hearing?
Yeah,
because the
so
law
far,
is starting.
Yes.
So far,
my information is that they had series of meetings with the trade minister for the past, I think, 1 month. They've had about three meetings, and the final one, the minister assured them that despite the fact that the law has been passed, they can do something about it, because you and me are aware that there is a ban on importation of right-hand vehicle,
which is stated here as well.
Which is stated here, but people still do bring right-hand vehicles.
And why is that?
And when you bring those vehicles, you have to apply for a permit from the Minister of Transport before you can clear those vehicles. So there is a leeway, even though there is a ban on the right-hand vehicle, there is still a leeway, that you can pass. There's a window that you can, still go through to clear.
Do you think something of that nature will be made available for this one?
Yes, I'm very sure.
But won't that be cumbersome? Won't that make it? So it means that at every point in time, and these cars come in very large volumes. Does it mean that every now and then people would have to apply to the Minister of Trade before they get this clarified?
I'm not saying the minister has categorically say that you have to apply, but the minister assured them
that there will be a leeway.
Yes, there will be a leeway.
Let me find out from Nana. Nana, what do you make of this directive as well? So you have been selling most of these cars, some of these dented, physically damaged and all of that, they come to you. People fix them, they spray them nicely, and you still display them and sell.
Okay. What I'll suggest to the government is that it must allow us to bring cars not more than 10 years.
That has been stated, yes.
And where the impact is not great, if the car is involved in a collision affecting the bumper or the bonnet with slight dents on it, then we can bring them. We have to make sure we obtain clean title over there and bring them here and be able to clear them and sell them.
But both said that clean title, you will not get a clean title if you even have a dent on the car.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's what, over there.
If the impact is not great,
yes,
they can give us a clean title.
Oh, you sure that if the impact is not...
If it affects the bumper, slight damage, they will issue
it can be given.
It can be given?
Yeah.
Okay.
And
okay.
If you have the clean title over there, then you must be allowed to trade your car from the harbor.
I see.
Here.
So should it be the case that once you have a clean title, the car should be allowed to come in? Minus all the others that said destroyed, physically damaged, water and all of that. Because when it's a flooded car or car that's been found in a flood.
That's not good to be here.
Okay, but aren't there volumes in that? Aren't there levels or stages? Is it every car that is found in a flood that we can rule out totally that it won't function?
For that aspect, I'll call for all cars.
All cars that are flooded,
yes,
okay.
All cars that are flooded, it shouldn't be allowed.
Okay.
Yes.
Because they affect the electrical system.
Okay.
Yes.
So your folks agreed? Those of you, your dealers agreed?
Yeah, they will agree. Some of them have already agreed.
Okay.
And we have to explain to them.
Okay.
To agree with the government.
Okay.
So what the government is doing is in the right direction.
Let me get Madam Adobia's take on this as well. Hello, Madam. Madam Adobia, if you can hear us, I just want to find out what you also make of this particular law that's banning these salvage vehicles, and what you make in particular of the categories that have been stipulated within the law.
Could you go over, please?
Okay. So I was saying that if you can share with us your thoughts about this particular law and the categories of salvage vehicles that's been stipulated.
Unfortunately, I can't hear you.
Oh, okay. So let's fix that real quick while we discuss
yes, I
it.
can.
You can hear now. Is it better? We'll get that sorted. No problem, Nana. So,
yes, I can hear you now.
You can hear me. I was asking what you make of this particular.
I can hear you now.
Okay, what do you make of this particular law that's banning the salvage vehicles and the overage ones, and the category of salvaged that the law describes?
Okay, so I am happy about it, and I think it's about time we take the bull by the horn and deal with issues straightforward and stop this thing of there's an avenue here, there's a leeway here, there is an alternative here. I've heard other panelists make their submissions, and the fact that, yes, even as we speak, right-hand vehicles are banned, but they still come in and you apply and all that. But when we talk about salvage vehicles being banned, it is because of history. It's because of what we have seen. We go to the ports on virtually daily basis, and we see the kind of vehicles that come in. Some of the vehicles that come in are total scrap. They shouldn't come in, but they come in. And they are not coming in to be torn apart for spare parts, but they are coming in to be repaired and put on the road to become a danger to you and myself. And that is where I have a problem. If we are saying that salvage vehicle, let's categorize them. Let the slightly dented ones come in and let the ones with heavy impacts be sidelined. Everything will end up coming into Ghana. And so if it's a ban, it's a ban, irrespective of how small the impact is. It shouldn't come in. If it's small like they say, then fix it from source before it comes in. Ghana should not be a dumping ground. We have the aspect of electronic waste. Japan Motors is sited at the Graphic Road. Our head office is at the Graphic Road, very close to Agbogboloshi. Look at the electronic waste we have to deal with. And when these vehicles are coming in, these days, most of the bumpers are plastics, the over fenders. All these are plastic waste that end up here. How are we disposing them of? So if the vehicle is not good enough, it shouldn't come in. If it's about flooding, when the hurricanes come up there, vehicles get immersed in water, and then they are salvaged and brought down here. The control unit is gone. Mainly, other electrical components are gone, and then they are fixing it because maybe the know-how is not there or the parts are not available. They bypass some of these connections, and they say, oh, as long as it's drivable, dangerous, because certain indicators that should be on the panel and give you a warning as a user will not be working. And so you'll be driving and whatever happens will happen. And so I don't think that when it comes to the salvage vehicle, there should be an exception. If it can be fixed there, let it be fixed there. If not, there is an alternative. Used vehicles have been coming in. Imagine somebody buying a used vehicle over 10 years, and when it is damaged, you use a used part to fix it. You don't know how old these used parts are. And I personally cannot guarantee any used part that when I fix this used part on your vehicle, it's going to last you for another year. Sometimes you fix it, the next day it goes bad. The dealers there will tell you, these days, some of the mechanics who buy parts, if it's a brake pot or something, they carry the whole unit there and fix the parts in their presence to make sure that it's working. Because sometimes if you even buy the part, you go and fix and it doesn't work, they don't accept it back. So if that is the problem, there's also an opportunity. Those vehicles that are salvaged, the parts that can be taken out, they should take them out and use them as spare parts. In that case, maybe you can have a newer used spare parts, and that would serve as a better purpose. Again, we struggle so much to bring in some of these badly, I don't know why I'm even saying badly, because an accident is an accident and it's not good. That's why it's an accident. We bring in these vehicles as against local used vehicles. You know, there's this perception about the Ghanaian user when it comes to used vehicles. If you buy a brand new vehicle from a dealer in Ghana, register it in 20, a Nissan vehicle, I'm using Nissan because that's what I represent, and service it throughout at Japan Motors. Make an attempt to sell it in 2020. That's a 5-year-old vehicle. It would have gone through its depreciation. Make an attempt to sell it in 2020. Maybe this vehicle might have done less than the 100,000 kilometers or just about 100,000 kilometers. Let your competitor bring a used vehicle, which we call home use. It could be maybe 150,000 kilometers. We don't care about the mileage. We don't care about the state of the vehicle. The fact that it is coming from abroad and there is an opportunity to have a new registration plate on it at 2020, the consumer would go for that. Vis-a-vis the vehicle used locally, serviced locally here, and you are sure that that vehicle is in a good condition. So I think that the ban should be implemented strictly. My problem with Ghana is that it's not an issue of us not having the laws. We have them. But when it comes to implementation, then there is a huge challenge.
We provide too many leeways.
This person, I know that person, and it never gets done. If we go by this, it's going to be 1 step forward, 2 steps backwards. And I'm strongly against any salvage vehicle being given an opportunity to come into the country because the impact is small.
So there is, based on what you just said, there's a, and I know Clement is itching to respond to some of the things you said, but there's the part of the law which he mentioned earlier, the one on the right-hand drive, for instance. It says, a person shall not import into the country, a right-hand steering motor vehicle without the approval of the minister. How does the minister come in here?
Yes, so for example, if we are not supposed to import
a right hand, if it's wrong, isn't it supposed to be wrong?
Without the approval of the minister. Why should the minister even approve of it?
Yeah.
When they bring in the right hand vehicle, they change a lot, change the whole dash. Yeah. They change a lot. And there are problems with time. It's just a matter of time. There are problems, it surfaces, they know. Like he said, sometimes vehicles we can see that this impact has affected the chassis. They will try and fix it and it will end up on our roads. And all these things are dangerous to us. We're putting so much effort on public education. National Commission on Civic Education is working. National Road Safety is working. Road accidents, we are drumming it into our ears. And the very problems that contribute to it, we accept them. Yeah. And we think it's okay. If Cote d'Ivoire is doing 5 years for sedans and 7 years for buses and 10 years for trucks, and it's working, why can't it work in Ghana? Yeah. If Kenya is doing 8 years and they are going to even modify it next year, why can't it work in Ghana? I think it's about, if we really want to industrialize, if we really want to create employment, if we really want to reduce the commerce and do something here locally to build our nation, then it's about time we become a bit firm on some of these laws and their implementation.
Would you then say that even this part of the law gives room for what Clement, for instance, mentioned earlier? Because somebody said, if you say that a right-hand steering motor vehicle, which we know we don't use in this country, the only time you can use it is more or less to destroy the entire dashboard or move it or change it entirely, which changes the entire mechanism of the vehicle. Before you can use it, you are preventing that one from coming. You are actually allowing that one from coming if you get approval from the minister. Then why are you saying that my small dented car in your section C should not come at all? Haven't we created the confusion from the law here?
Okay, so when it comes to the right-hand drive vehicle, for example, getting approval from the minister, I'm sure might be the Minister of Transport. And then this salvage vehicles may be under definitely still the Minister of Transport, because it is the Vehicles and it's the Customs Amendment Act. finance would have something. I think there's an inter-ministerial committee.
Yeah.
And this is where we have to take a decision as a nation. What are we looking at? What is the objective? What do we want to achieve at the end of this period? If we claim that we want to enhance our economy and make it grow by industrializing, and this is an industry we are looking at to start from, then why should we even permit it? So approval is at the minister's discretion. On what grounds would the minister approve that bringing a right-hand vehicle? I'm giving you approval, or I'm denying you. This is where we have to take the firm and the hard decisions.
Yeah.
If the minister decides not to give approval, that's it. There is no problem. And like you're saying, here, this is where the minister has to take do the cost-benefit analysis. If I'm giving approval for right-hand drive vehicles, then why wouldn't I permit a slightly dented vehicle? And if indeed I don't want the accident vehicles, the salvage vehicles to come into the country, then I'm better off saying no to everything. I'm better off saying no.
Yeah.
And the question is, even how often would people apply for a right-hand drive? Under what condition? Maybe somebody has worked somewhere over the years, has used a personal vehicle, there are sentiments attached, and so you want to bring the vehicle in. My brother, you can always buy a vehicle. Why would you want to bring the right-hand drive vehicle and come and do a swap and change and all that? I
So
don't think it's necessary.
that part of the
So
law,
I
that
would
caveat shouldn't have been there in the
advocate
first
that
place.
We should be firm with what we want to do and get it done.
Yeah. And doesn't it also even take powers into individuals, of course they are ministers, but into individual hands to make discretionary decisions instead of allowing the law to make those decisions?
With the current Customs Amendments Act, Act 891, the sections under which we are discussing, I haven't seen where the minister could approve of this salvage vehicle. Is there anything like that?
For salvage, no.
Like
for
that?
Salvage, no. But for the right-hand
There
drive,
isn't.
for the right-hand drive
Yes,
cars,
the salvage, no, there isn't. So it's not even up for discussion.
no. I'm talking about the right-hand drive cars.
The right-hand drive should be no.
Yeah, but it says there should be approval from the minister.
Yes, approval. What is approval? You apply. And I look at your application, I look at the merits of the application, and I approve.
But is that necessary? Is that necessary? If we say that the right-hand drive is not suitable for our environment, it's just not suitable. Should we leave the discretionary powers in the hands of an individual to tell?
Well, so it could start another process. Then maybe we have to go back to Parliament and say, amend this one equally and say it's a no, it's banned, and that's it. But for now, since it is not explicitly stated in that format, the best way is that the minister takes the decision. And if the minister wants this thing to work, then in order not to create contradictions here and there, right-hand drive should be no, salvage, accident should be no. And then we can move ahead from there.
Okay.
That should be a challenge in any way.
Okay. Clement, you had some few rebuttals to what Madam said earlier.
Yes, regarding the right-hand vehicle, if they ban it, I am for that.
Okay.
Yes, if they ban it, I am for that.
Entirely without the minister's approval.
Without the minister's approval, I am for that. Even though provisions, are made for you to change everything from right hand to left hand. They make the provisions there.
Yeah. But sometimes it's not properly done.
It's not properly done because even though we have good mechanics here, but definitely one way or the other, we know it will have some mechanical, effect. So if they ban it, that one I don't have any problem about that. But regarding the impact of the vehicle that you are supposed to bring, as we have said, if the impact is so minor, is so minor.
But who determines the nature of the impact?
Maybe that is
how do you tell the form
that is
a minor impact?
That is where we have to maybe talk about,
because that's not defined here.
It's not defined here.
It's general,
yes.
very
yes.
general. Wrecked,
yes.
destroyed,
yes.
physically damaged.
Yes.
What form of physical damage?
That is not defined here. But I think they have mechanical engineers in the customs setup, so they can decide to determine the impact of the yes.
That'd be too
of
much
the
again.
accident.
The thing has arrived. If it's not good, it's not good.
You see, somewhere we have to start from somewhere, because it is not everybody who will be in a position to buy a new car. It is not everybody.
Perfectly,
yes, it is not everybody.
The only difficulty.
So the second-hand cars that our brothers, do bring, it helps a lot.
A lot.
But
no
if
doubt.
we say we are going to
rule out everything.
Rule out everything. I don't think it.
But then your committee should have helped. You should have helped us to define things clearly, because if you are going to leave it in the hands of men to determine the definition for a physically damaged vehicle, that would also bring out something different, because the cars come and you expect custom officers to come and look and say, oh, we cry, and say, yeah, this one can go, this one shouldn't go. You end up even letting, and these days we're all afraid of how people tip people to get inside things. So couldn't you have given a proper definition that would allow people to be clear? And this clarity is very important, because that's only when you can tell that I have flouted the law. If you seize my car, it's legitimate.
Yes. There is.
Now you want to say something?
There is ambiguity regarding that aspect.
That was why I was saying that the acquisition of a clean title over there.
That should be the limit.
Yes.
I think they could have just said, get a clean title.
Yes, that should determine if you're able to get a clean title over there. Despite that the car is involved in an accident, then the car comes here.
That is the section CB of that. So that was stated clearly.
Yes.
But the A comes in with other definitions which are quite ambiguous, as you said. Has been wrecked, destroyed, or physically damaged. All that side is where the problem comes in. But does not have a clean title. It's stated there.
Yeah, it's stated there. But we all know. If a car is wrecked, we all know the state that car may be in.
It depends.
If a car is flooded, that one is
no totally, flood. Yes, you can.
Yes. Or if a car there's a fire ravages some parts, some aspect of the car, and then you bring it. That one should not be.
No, but Clement, even the flood, sometimes the car is flooded. It doesn't come physically. You can see it from the outside. If they don't tell you that it was flooded, you can see.
So then, if a car is flooded, and I don't think the clean title will be issued. So that should be the basis.
Yeah.
That should be the basis. The clean title should be the basis.
Simplicity.
Yes.
Let me.
Like I wanted to comment.
Please do that. But let me just announce again the WhatsApp number, and I've seen some coming through. 055-901-9177 is the WhatsApp number you can share your thoughts with. The number you can call, and you can begin to call now, 020-552-8353. We are trying to find understanding and let you also get into it, because it will be your car that will be confiscated by October, when this law comes into force, if barring any unforeseen circumstance, from October. So you need to get the understanding, and at the appropriate time too, I'm sure Customs Trade Ministry will be here to continue the discussion. Today is for the industry persons to also give us enlightenment. Clement, you wanted some reaction.
I wanted to say something about Madam Adobia, made some comment regarding people liking to buy new vehicle which has been used in this country maybe 5 years, and they will rather prefer buying a used vehicle from overseas which is more than 10 years. Do you know the reason why? Because they think that over there the roads are perfect. They do constant servicing, yes, to maintain the engine, and also over there some of the European countries do Euro 3 or Euro 4. So the engine is in a perfect condition. So if you buy a vehicle which is even 13 years, 14 years over there, and you bring it here, people prefer it rather than to buy a new car which has been bought from them and has been used for maybe 5 years or 6 years. That is the more reason. That is basically the reason why people prefer to buy used cars overseas than cars here which are brand new and has been used, a couple of years. Because one, our roads are not good. So they think when you purchase a vehicle, brand new vehicle, which has been used for maybe 5, 6 years here, maybe the suspension are not all that strong. Here, the fuel that we use here, even though we are using Euro 2 here, but we are aware that sometimes most of the fuel that we are using here are contaminated. And sometimes,
are you sure?
I'm telling you, you go and buy fuel, a diesel. I have a lot of experiences because I sell spare parts. People do come to me and they complain that they go and buy fuel here, they put it in their vehicle, and then it affects their engine. Especially,
have you complained to the
complained.
industry?
Yes, we've complained, especially diesel.
Samples
especially diesel.
To be
yes,
ineffective.
diesel. Diesel vehicles now uses something that we call injectors, and those injectors are very expensive. And if you don't use the right fuel, it will just destroy it. It will just destroy it. So people do complain about the quality of fuel that we use here. So they think if the vehicle is even older in abroad, they prefer that vehicle to new vehicles that has been used here for maybe 6 or 7 years. That is the reason.
Madam.
Yes.
Is that true?
Yes, Samuel.
Is that true?
When it comes to our fuel, I must say just about a month ago, I had to check with Standards Authority, and it was because I was following up on the homologation certification process.
Yeah.
And then also fossil fuel emission standards. And then we got to know that, Ghana Standards Authority has set up something. We are doing Euro 2 currently for 2020. And in the next 2 years, that is 2022, possibly, we are likely to revise it to Euro 4.
Okay.
That the questions that came up was vehicles Ghana. Are we ready to support these vehicles with a kind of fuel that would sustain them?
Yeah.
And it came to light that about 95% of our fuel on the market is imported.
I see.
It's imported. And there are Euro 4, Euro 5 standard of fuel coming in. Just about 3 to 5%.
95%. I see.
95%, yes. Just about 3 to 5% of it is locally refined. And even to start with the Euro 2, it was done so that the local refinery can up their game and get ready to move to that standard. So when it comes to the fuel on the market, as in the final product coming in, I can confidently say that they are Euro 4, Euro 5 standards, and we shouldn't have any problem with it. If we are talking of contamination, then it's the handling. It's the handling of the fuel that comes up with the contamination, but not because the fuel is not of a very high quality. The quality is there. The handling is another aspect of it that should be looked at.
Okay.
So let us give it a try.
Okay.
Where there is a will, there's a way.
Yeah.
So let's be willing to give Ghana a try and let's move on. The moment you are bringing in used vehicle and you say, Ghana, our roads are not good and all that. There's something I observe on the road. And when I'm driving on the rough road, I see some people drive with care. You see them driving slowly. And you see some people bumping into the potholes just like that. Even if it's a ditch, they don't really care. And I have this friend who always tells me that if you see the way they are driving, you can tell whether it's a government vehicle or company asset. If they are buying the spare parts and fixing the vehicles themselves, you will see that they drive differently. And so we should learn to be comfortable with Ghana used vehicles, because those who buy brand new vehicles usually maintain them at the dealership. And there's this thing we call warranty. Warranty is not for the fun of it. Most Ghanaian automobile dealers have warranty of 100,000 kilometers or 3 years, whichever comes first, or sometimes even up to 5 years. And we try to go the extra mile and give customers warranty. There are times a customer comes into the workshop with a particular problem. We go the extra mile to look for other challenges and say that, oh, maybe we found this and we will change this for you on warranty. And that is why we are with the step government has taken, because we are assured that the same government will not go behind this automobile assemblers to UAE, Dubai, and go and buy vehicles there and leave us sitting here with our products. Because at the end of the day, you are assured that whatever we are selling to consumers out there is backed by after-sales support, reliable after-sales support, and there is warranty as well. But sometimes when you go out there to third parties and buy from them, you lose warranty on the vehicles. And these are things we should look at. So the vehicle dealers, the used vehicle dealers, should sell, it should be part of their key selling point. That look, even if you are buying a vehicle, a used vehicle in Ghana, and it was bought brand new, all you need is to ask for the history from the dealership, and they will give it to you. You will realize all the jobs that have been done on it, and you will know that the vehicle is in a good condition. We are comfortable buying from home use, irrespective of the state. We think it's home use. So does it mean everything home use is fine? I don't think so. I don't think so.
Madam Adobia, let me share with you. Let me share with you what others are also saying. This one. Cheers. Pierre says. We have a caller on the line, but let me read this real quick. And those of you calling the WhatsApp line, please kindly try and call the regular line that's on the screens. It's supposed to be 020-552-8353. And then the number you can WhatsApp is 055-901-9177. So Pierre says, Ghanaian automobile companies should be compelled to assemble electric vehicles if they will be assembling vehicles for use in Ghana. From 2020, the Togolese government gives vehicle owners or importers 100% duty-free incentive if the electric vehicle being imported is between 1 and 3 years old, and 90% less duty if the Venus 4 and 6 years old. So why should the government allow the assembly of combustion engine vehicles in Ghana? The industrial world is dumping obsolete assembly plants on Ghana and Africa. Please discuss this matter comprehensively. Cheers. Pierre. Hello, Kweku.
Hello. Good evening.
Good evening, Kweku.
Yes, please. I want to contribute to the program.
Go ahead, sir.
Hello.
Please go ahead. We can hear you, Kweku.
Okay. I personally think it's not bad for the Ghana government to commence with this initiative of cars being manufactured locally in Ghana. But things must be critically looked at so that the standard of living in Ghana will not be raised up.
Okay.
For instance, average Ghanaian cannot afford a brand new car.
Yeah.
Or you use your entire life to pay for your brand new car.
Yeah, not far from the truth.
The question also is, if you are able to go in for this brand new car and somehow you involve in a motor accident, if that car be rendered as car that cannot be used again, if that is not the case, I don't think banning entire salvage cars will help us. We are citizens of this country, and we cannot create monopolistic market for the white to operate alone. It should be open and fair market for all.
Yeah.
Probably measures should be taken as to the extent of damage that if it's on a car you can bring or import.
Okay, I think the The point is...
And if, I have a lot of things I want to say. The car dealer was saying that the car must have 20 titles before you bring the car to Ghana. I don't think that one can be possible. Even buying the car over there, there are licenses that you need to...
Koku, for the sake of time, we'll have to leave you. I think your point has been made. Kefren Pong says, good evening, Sami. The argument by the Japan Motors woman, I disagree. It appears to me that because she represents her employers, she fully supports imported cars to be banned completely without any consideration, so her business will... her side of business will boom. 2,000 workers to lose their jobs. In fact, the standard of vehicles to be produced here in Ghana will surely be inferior to the home-used vehicles. She answered to that one. She said it would not be that way. So there's, before I pick the next caller, this one says, my name is Bawa from Kumasi, and these are my questions. For Boateng, I think he's been disingenuous when describing the salvage vehicles because the law says salvage vehicles are banned, and he's trying to make it sound like there is still room for salvage vehicles. Can he confirm if the salvage vehicle is fixed in overseas before importing will be allowed, or as long as the title says salvaged, it is not allowed? So I think that Bawa, the reason probably he went around that is that the law itself defines and gives some categories of cars that are supposed to be called salvage, and it talks about being wrecked, being destroyed, or physically damaged, or physically damaged by collision, fire, water, or any other occurrence. And probably that's the reason why Clement went in that direction. So I keep getting this call, 02444 something, calling the line. Please call the main line and text this one if you don't mind. So do we have, this one says, I live in UK, which uses right-hand cars. I bought brand new car which I used for 3 years and decided to come home to settle down. What happened to that car if I can't purchase a new car of left-handed or of left-hand drive car in Ghana? This is Eben from Aflao. So he lives in UK. He wants to bring his 3-year-old car because he doesn't have money to buy a new one. So he wants to change to the other one. And you say that you disagree, they should be banned. Yes. This one says, good evening. Please tell Madam that her car that she has used for 5 years in Ghana can't be compared to the same type of car used in USA for 10 years. Most of the foreigners handle cars better than us here in Ghana. His name is Samuel. This one says, I think Mr. Clement's position is not geared towards national interest because he's just looking at their business at the expense of people's lives. Most Ghanaians depend on used vehicles, but it's about time we as a people and our leaders to clamp down on these scraps coming in via our shores of Togo, he mentioned. Okay, so does that mean that if I buy a model from 2010 now, I can't use it after 2020 if the law is passed in October? Good evening, Emmanuel from Takrady, and that's exactly so, right? After 10 years, so 2021, he can't bring a 2010 car. Yes. Yeah. So this one says, can I repair my car and use again when it gets an accident in Ghana? Then why ban all accident or salvage vehicle? This is from Dan. Please, can you ask the MD of Japan Motors? Okay. She's the... Okay. Japan Motors, how much a new saloon car would cost after being manufactured right here in Ghana? This is Jeff from Tema. Please, can you ask? Okay, so that's repeated. As a matter of fact, these same vehicle assembly companies will be shooting themselves the moment a company such as Tesla sets up an electric vehicle manufacturing plant sets up here or in Africa. And they will soon, if you follow the international news. So it goes on. Pierre, I think, added onto that one. This one says, please, this guy, in your studio, can they explain some of the things better, because on the ground things are different? Okay. Okay, I think this should be the last one. This is a D from Ada Greater Accra, Chairman. I wish to, okay, that's it. So you can send your comment and then we'll definitely read them. Edi, if you're the one calling, please send your comment and we'll read them. Otherwise, you can call the main line. So, Madam, let me ask you, the economic impact of some of these decisions, policy decisions. We have a caller? Okay. Hello.
Hello.
Yes.
Yes. Hello, Samuel.
Okay, not you yet, Madam Adubia. I think we have a call on the line. Hello.
Yeah, what I'm saying is the contribution coming from the farm motor, Madam. I think she was just missing on point. Where I agree with her is that Ghana is about time to so look into assembling our own vehicles, and then also we look to how we can make it affordable for the people.
Yeah.
And then also, when it comes to a used vehicle, if you look at the general trend as a nation, we can't do away with the used vehicle. And if we want to look into minimizing the number of years spent, or as we were saying, 5 years or something like that, so that we don't bring in chaps. Apparently, if you look at some of the accidents that is happening on our public roads, some are coming from some of the vehicle or vehicle that coming with defects, and which is also killing the Ghanaian people. So we can also lose sight of that.
Okay.
So
I think it doesn't entirely say
that
that used vehicles are banned entirely. It says that if it's overaged and if it's also it has all these description of salvage that has been given. So I think that that fears should be allayed from that angle. I'll pick Madam Adobia on this, and following this text message that somebody has sent, says, I don't think this new law takes into consideration the local artisan who are in their masses. Even the government institutions rely on these artisans to service most of the state vehicles. If the policy frowns on the importation of over 10 years vehicle, then cars which would be manufactured locally must be banned after 10 years on the road. Madam Adubia, what I want to ask you about the economic impact on the ground, because a lot of people think that once you are looking at all these fresh cars on the surface, you lose sight of what people will be losing. The one who fixes the car, the accidented car, when it arrives into Ghana, the one at Swami Magazine, the one at Abosokai, who get you the bumper, who get you almost all those things to fix. Where are they going after this?
Oh, okay. So I don't think that we should assume that these people will be out of business. Are we saying that we don't have local accidents? We have local accidents.
So what are the options for them, if you can advise them?
Yes, so they still have work to do, because, you know, when new vehicles are bought, most vehicles, maybe after warranty, 5 years, 6 years, when they are being disposed of, some of the users will not come back to the dealership. These vehicles end up with the wayside garages, our local artisans, technicians, fitter, like we call them, to fix these vehicles. We have local accidents, and these same Swami Magazine guys end up fixing them. Let's not forget that this is an opportunity. There are guys at Swami Magazine who are technically good, can get the job done. The only challenge is that they don't have education, or maybe, let me say, literate, because they are very well educated in their field. This is an opportunity for us to give them some kind of formal training, and these guys might find themselves into the auto assembly sector, an aspect of it. Very soon, I'm telling you, this is just the beginning, but very soon we have to do bodybuilding here. We have to fabricate here. And that is why these guys will bring their experience to bear. Like I said, when you look at the auto assembly program, there are 3 types: the SKD, the enhanced semi-knockdown. The enhanced semi-knockdown has a local content, and this local content caters for these people. And so they have been planned for from the very onset. And that is what we should be looking at. Let me tell you today, if we want a qualified sprayer, just paint work for the paint shop, you have a lot of sprayers on the market who claim they know what they are doing, they do a good job, but they have no certification. What is the Ghana doing about that? This is an opportunity for the tertiary technical universities to consider some of these people and come up with programs for them, so that these people can be brought into the system. So there's good use for them, and we can say that they wouldn't find themselves wanting in any way. There are jobs for them. They are not going to lose out.
Okay. Clement, when you had all these discussions prior to this law and this policy, where did you place some of your people, those who fix some of these parts, the sprayers who fix the doors when they are broken and accidental? What plan did you have for them?
Well, officially, we didn't say, much about them as far as this document is concerned.
Of course, this is the law, so
yes,
definitely that won't come in.
Yes. But like Madam Adobia said, they will still be in the business. Not that they'll be taken off, because definitely there are going to be local.
Have you started
accidents.
engaging them that this law is coming? Let's begin to look at other opportunities and options.
To be frank, we were supposed to, have a general meeting. Had it not been this COVID, yes, we were supposed to have a general meeting and then brief them on that, because when the law was passed, I think somewhere in March, I think the law was passed in March this year. When it was passed,
April 30th.
April 30th. No, the
president assented April 30th.
April 30th. Yeah. But the law was passed in March.
I think in March.
Yes.
Right.
So when the law was passed and it was being announced on the airwaves, some of our people came to ask for explanation, and then
you offered that.
Yes.
Okay.
We explained matters to them, but we had wanted to call a general meeting.
As it stands, in 3 months, we are seeing this enforcement. Yes. Would you advocate that we go ahead with the enforcement of this law?
Oh, yes. Like I told you,
you are ready for it?
Yes, we are ready for it.
Let me ask Nana as well. Are you ready for that?
Yeah, we are ready.
You are all ready. Yeah. Madam Adobia, are you ready for, or would you advocate that we just go ahead with this?
Say it again.
I was asking that the law is supposed to come to force from the 30th of October, or October. Would you advocate that we go ahead with this?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
I would say we should go ahead. But if you look at the act, the implementation date says not earlier than 6 months. And so not earlier than 6 months gives some room. And it was also specifically related to when the first locally assembled vehicle comes out. So I think that there is some room for the ministers to play with.
Okay.
If by the end of October, 30th of October, they feel that, well, we have enough units, or the registered automobile assemblers are poised and have generated the numbers, the units that we are looking at, and we can implement this, then fine, they can go ahead.
Okay.
But then it all depends on what is going to be done. That is why we are saying that we are starting something.
Yeah.
We will have teething problems.
Okay.
And sometimes the act would give some of these timelines, but what happens on the ground might not permit it. And so given that 30th October, we are ready and everything is working fine, I think we should roll out.
Okay, I ran out of time. We'll have to leave it here. I'll return shortly. International news next. The Liberian Ship Registry has appointed Dallas Smith as the Director of LNG and Offshore Technology and General Manager of the Liberian International Ship and Corporate Registries LISCER New Houston office. The registry said Smith's LNG expertise will set Liberia apart from other flag states.
Smith brings to his new role over 20 years of experience as an officer in the United States Coast Guard, USCG. Before his retirement last month, Smith was head of the USCG Liquefied Gas National Center of Expertise. France's CMA-CGM is pulling APL out from its long-running Trans-Pacific routes and deploying the latter to focus on servicing the U.S. government. Since CMA-CGM acquired Neptune Orient Lines, NOL, in 2016, along with NOL's carrier arm, APL, both CMA-CGM and APL have continued to operate their respective Trans-Pacific services. In the latest announcement, CMA-CGM said that from 1st October 2020, it will become the sole commercial carrier of the group operating in the Trans-Pacific as a, quote, simplification of its container trade offering, unquote. Joint venture Safine Feeders has made its debut with calls at Halifa Port and Jebel Ali feeding cargoes from India. The vessel Safine Tiger called at Abu Dhabi Port's Halifa Port on 7th July 2020 and DP World's Jebel Ali Terminal on 8th July on its inaugural voyage from India. The vessel is part of a new joint venture between Abu Dhabi Ports, Safine Feeders, and Singapore-headquartered Bengal Tiger Line. The governments of 12 countries issued a joint statement pledging their commitment to help solve the current seafarer crisis at an international maritime virtual summit on crew changes hosted by the United Kingdom, and also urging other nations to follow suit. Quote, the inability of ship operators worldwide to conduct ship's crew changes during the pandemic is the single most pressing maritime operational challenge to the safe and efficient movement of global trade, unquote, the statement read. Since March 2020, only about 25% of normal crew changes have taken place, it stated, leaving more than 200,000 seafarers stranded at sea awaiting repatriation, while a similar number wait ashore to relieve them. Charco's Energy Navigation 10 has ordered up to 3 Suezmax DP2 shuttle tankers at a South Korean shipyard on the back of long-term charter to a major European end user. The time charter equivalent minimum revenues to be generated over the duration of the contract are expected at about $250 million according to 10. Chief Operating Officer of 10, George Saroglu, commented that, quote, 10 continues its profitable and market-proven policy of attractive long-term charters to grow its fleet at periods of competitive new building prices, unquote. Okay, so in the studio, my guests have been Nana Edujemfi, the CEO of Nigeria,
Apenkwa, and also the Clement Boateng is the co-chairman, Abosokai Spare Parts Dealers Association, as well as the acting first vice chair or president, first vice president of the Ghana Union of Traders Association, GUTA. And also virtually joining us is Madame Adobia Esiama Abuaje, Mrs. General Manager, Japan Motors Tema branch. But Madame Adobia, we thank you very much for making the time out of your busy schedule to join us. There's a question though for you that I wanted to quickly end, but let me ask this one because the person says it's very, very important and dear. It says, have you, the question for Japan Motors, does the Ghana government require these car assembling companies to employ a specific number of Ghanaians, for example, at least 70%? Do you have a quota for Ghanaians? Local content.
I am not too sure with the figures, but there's definitely a larger number of Ghanaians. Even in our current setup, most of us are Ghanaians. We have a very few expatriates. And for this assembling, it's going to be the same thing. We already have mechanical engineers.
Okay.
And so for some of us, we are going to employ. But if you would give me this opportunity, one thing I would like to say is that what the government can do to also support us, once again, not just for the assemblers, but for importers as a whole, is to look at the exchange rate.
Okay.
The rate it changes on a weekly basis.
Okay.
If we are going forward, we would like to be able to forecast. So if the exchange rates for importing, paying taxes and all that can be maybe monthly or quarterly, to go a long way to help us.
Thanks a lot. So we're going to continue this discussion some other time with probably other stakeholders as well. Quite a number of messages have come. I'm sure that you answer some of them and we'll share them with the viewers later on. Benisi Yaira, for instance, is still wondering why we can drive our local cars here in Ghana. When they get accidented, we fix them and drive. But we say we don't want the accidented ones coming from outside. There are quite a number of other questions that I'm sure that at the appropriate time we will deal with them. Thank you very much for watching the program. Executive producers of this program have been Mrs. Esi Sodoberg Nana, as well as Mrs. Esther J.B. Donko. Joe Apia Joe Bone produced the program. The technical producer was Frank Gomelesio. Technical directors Henry Bosompra. Joseph was behind the camera. Alex as well made it happen. Thanks for watching.